Heartiest welcome and of course greetings as well to you. Today I shall be simplifying the third poem from Flamingo. The poem is titled Keeping Quiet. It has been written by Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda was born in 1904, died in 1973. He was a very well-renowned figure, was a Chilean poet, diplomat and politician. He was conferred many prizes during his lifetime. A few considerable ones are International Peace Prize, Lenin Peace Prize and Nobel Prize for Literature, which he got in 1971. Now heading towards the preface of the poem, the first point written on your screen is subject. It is an appeal for humankind to cease all activity for a little while. In fact, the poet wants whole mankind to stop the activities for a very short period of time at least. The poet wants or wishes that all human beings they should stop their activities at least for a brief period of time. Through silence and inactivity, human beings will be united in harmony with nature. That is the belief of the poet. Therefore, the poet says that all humanity must stop the activity at least for a short period of time so that they can be united, so that they can exist in harmony with nature. As far as the themes are concerned, the first and foremost theme is necessity of soul searching. Soul searching simply means introspection. Introspection means looking inside one's own self, right? See, in present world which is full of monotony, no human being finds time to look inside one's own self. Everybody is concerned about the outside things only. Nobody has a peep inside one's own self, right? Though might be a few things actually might have changed only because of this COVID-19 pandemic. Might be people they have got no time to introspect a bit because that monotony kind of mechanical life that used to exist earlier on, that has some time, somewhere that has come to an end. Might be no people they are finding time for themselves for the introspection. Now the poet actually wants all the people to introspect, to look inside their own selves so as to find the evils and the good things, right? To recognize them. The second thing is need to limit or to check the human activities which are threatening for the fellow humans and nature. See, human beings, they are, you know, they are performing certain activities which are uncontrolled. The activities of human beings, they are unchecked, and there is definitely a great need to check those activities because human beings they have grown selfish and they do not hesitate to harm others. Therefore, there definitely is a need to check those activities which are threatening for the fellow humans, and even man has or human beings have, they have exploited the nature as well, and there must be a check on that too. So next theme can be harmony, togetherness, unity and peace. Through this poem, Pablo Neruda intends to deliver the message of universal brotherhood and peace. The poem appeals to the whole humanity to stop aggression. This aggression also includes the aggression of human beings towards environment or nature. Poetic devices, as far as are concerned, there are many poetic devices used in the poem. The most prominent one is usage of symbols, because there are many symbols used in this poem. The phrase count to 12 used in the opening of the poem refers to the measure of time. It can be kind of ambiguous here because it can have more than one interpretations. It might refer to a day which has got 12 hours. It might refer to a year which has got 12 months. It might refer to a clock which has got 12 markings, and it might even refer to 12 seconds, right? Then we have got hurt hands. A phrase hurt hands comes inside the poem, and this phrase, it's a symbol of self-destruction. We got fishermen, and fishermen, they are the symbol of oppressors. Oppressors simply means those who harm others, who are harmful for others. Whale is a symbol of oppressed. Oppressed means somebody who is harmed, somebody who is killed, somebody who is exploited or executed. We find that transferred epithet is also used in this poem. Sea is described as cold. Sea cannot be cold. Look, this word cold, it is actually not having the implication of temperature here. It simply refers to hatred. It refers to dislike. Human beings, they do not like fellow humans, meaning that human beings, they separate hatred, dislike among themselves. Human beings do not like other fellow humans. Therefore, their behavior towards each other is cold, right? That is what actually is the implication here. This word cold, or this title cold, adjective cold, it could better be used for human beings, but it has been transferred from humans and has been used for sea. Therefore, it is a transferred epithet. Now we come towards the other poetic devices are also used. I will just name the poetic device. Anaphora has been used. We'll let you know when and where it comes in the text. The other thing is verse form. There is no rhyme scheme used in this poem, you will see. Now as we come towards the text, I would like to invite your full concentration here. Look the opening stanza. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. The poet appeals to the whole humanity. The poet appeals to the reader and says that now we will be counting up to 12. We all will count up to 12 and we will keep still, meaning that we will not move. We will cut our activities to zero. We will be still only, we will be motionless. Then he says in the next stanza, for once on the face of earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. The poet once again appeals to the humanity and says that at least for that short period of time, at least for once on this earth, let's do one thing. Let's do not use any language. Let's do not speak, because author has the belief, because the poet has the belief that somewhere this language is also cause for the divisions. Somewhere language is also, felicitating. Somewhere language is also encouraging the divide between human beings. Human beings can be divided on the basis of languages, because some persons will be using English as language, others might be speaking Hindi, others might be speaking some other blah blah language. Therefore, the poet says that let's do not speak language. He again proposes, he makes a proposal and says that the poet says that let's at least for 1 second, let's at least for very short period of time, at least for a jiffy, let's all do not do anything. Let's do not move our arms. He says that we will not be moving our arms so much, meaning that all those activities that we had been performing, the intensity with which we had been performing these movements, we will not perform them. We will stop. We will stop, we will control, we will check our activities. That's what the poet says. So at least for a very short period of time, you all are supposed to stand still, stay still, not move, do not speak, and at least try to cut your activities to zero. Now see line number 2 and line number 3 of second stanza. In this line number 2 and line number 3, the word at the beginning of the line has been repeated. When the word at the beginning of different lines or different phrases inside one line are repeated, that technique is called anaphora. And this anaphora has been used in line number 2 and line number 3 of this stanza number 2 of the poem. Note it down. Coming to the next stanza, now he says, it would be an exotic moment. He says that when all the human beings, they will stop their activities, when all the human beings, they will check their activities, when everybody will be still, when everybody will not use any language, at that time It will be an exotic moment. This will be a very rare situation. This will be a very uncommon, uncanny situation. And in this circumstance, then he says, there will be no rush because this life, it is full of rush. There will be no engines. This life will be without engines, meaning that engine actually is a sign. Engine is somewhere a symbol of mechanical life. Everybody in present era, in contemporary era, is living actually a life full of monotony, full of mechanical activities. Mechanical activities simply mean repetitive activities. Every day a person has to perform some activity, and that activity can be said to be, mechanical activity. So everybody is somewhere working like engines, somewhere working like a machine, repeatedly, doing something, right? So the author says that this exotic moment, this very strange, very rare moment, which will be created when everybody will, check the activities, when everybody will be still, when nobody will be performing any movement, nobody will be speaking. At that time there will be no rush, there will be no hectics of the life, there will be no mechanical activities. And then he says, then all of us, then all human beings, we will feel a togetherness, we will feel somewhere united. And this unitedness, this will definitely be sudden strangeness. We all will be together in a sudden strangeness. This sudden strangeness is once again the poetic device used here, alliteration, the consonants, repetition of S and S, right? Looking at the next stanza says, fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the men gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. He says that at this point, when everybody will stop the activity, in this exotic moment, or situation or circumstance, at that time, fishermen who are hunting whales in the sea, they will stop their hatred, they will stop their dislike, they will stop their cold behavior towards the whales, because fisherman is a symbol of oppressing, right? Fishermen is a symbol of those who oppress. They are oppressors, and whales, they are the symbol of oppressed, right? Fishermen are exploiters, whales are the exploited ones. Fishermen, they are spreading the hatred, they are exploiting whales, they are killing whales. And he says, when all the human beings, they will stop the activities, then these fishermen also, they will stop their activities, so they will stop their hatred, right? Now who are the persons who are full of hate? Fishermen, they are actually full of hate. So we can say that fishermen, they are cold, they are cold in their behavior, meaning that they have got hatred inside them. They have got dislike for others. They have got that exploitative, kind of mind inside them. But see, fishermen, they are not described cold. Rather, sea has been described cold here, right? That means this cold sea, which has been highlighted for you by keeping it in bold, it is actually usage of that poetic device, what you called transferred epithet, right? So jot it down as well. Then whales, they are the symbol of exploited ones, are the oppressed ones, right? He says that then the whales, they will not be exploited, and those people who are working, those who are gathering salt, those who are, kind of performing the repetitive activities so as to benefit themselves, they will look that somewhere they are harming themselves. They will have a time, they will get a time to introspect and find that whatever they were doing actually was not worth doing. Whatever they had been doing was actually suicidal, it was a kind of self-hurting. Coming towards the next stanza, we find that the poet says, when everybody will be quiet, when everybody will not speak, will not use any language, at least for a short period of time, during that exotic moment when nobody will be using their arms so much. At that time, at least those who prepare green wars, meaning that those who exploit nature, those who cut down the trees, those who exploit the natures, and those people who are fighting wars, those who are spreading hatred, and later on are celebrating victories. What human beings do these days, human beings, they kill fellow human beings whom they consider as their enemies, and later on, when there is no survivor, meaning that when they kill the fellow human beings, at that time they celebrate their victory, right? Now the poet says that during this exotic moment, all those people who have fought wars and those who have killed human beings or fellow human beings, they will put on clean clothes. Remember, this clean cloth, actually this is a symbol of purity. This is kind of cleansing of sins. Those people who have fought wars, they have committed sins, they have done something wrong, but those wrongdoings, those sins, they will be cleaned. Those sins will be cleaned. They will put on clean clothes and they will walk with other human beings. They will walk with other human beings, with their brothers. Their brothers means other human beings, fellow human beings, right? They will be united with other human beings. And he says later that in the shade of doing nothing, shade of doing nothing. Look, when everybody is busy doing something, then the person turns selfish. Then the person separates hatred. But when nobody will be doing anything, when everybody will be doing nothing, see, this is kind of, this is kind of, you know, deep implication it has got very deep meaning, underlaying meaning also it has got here. Try to understand the phrase, when everybody is busy doing nothing, when everybody is silent, when everybody is quiet, at that time everybody will be brothers to others. I mean to say, all human beings, they will be united and they will walk together in shade of doing nothing. Shade is a symbol, it's a metaphor of protection. Everybody goes to sit under the shade when the sun is unbearable. It's a kind of protection. So shade is a kind of symbol or a metaphor of protection. And what can protect humanity? Humanity can be protected by doing nothing. Humanity can only be saved by quietness, by just exercising a control or checking their activities. Next, the poet says that, look, what I am saying, actually it should not be confused. The poet says that what I have appealed for, it should not be confused with total inactivity. I'm not saying that all human beings, they should be as inactive as dead. I do not want trucks full of death. He says, I do not want the fellow human beings to be completely or absolutely inactive. I just want them to check those activities which are exploitative. I want them to put a limit or to check their activities which are harmful for fellow human beings and nature. Right? That's what he says. He says that all human beings, they should try to keep moving, but it does not mean that they will be exploiting the nature and fellow human beings. He says, in this present life, in this life which is kind of mechanical, which is full of monotonous activities, the repetitive activities, we are actually not able to look inside ourselves. He says that actually the silence which I am looking for, the silence which I am proposing, I'm making a proposal here, and the proposal is that everybody should be silent. This proposal which I'm making, it will make fellow human beings, it will make all human beings understand a sad situation. It will make the fellow human beings to interrupt the sadness. You know what is the sadness? The sadness is the sadness of not understanding ourselves. We are not understanding ourselves. Do we understand ourselves? We will be able to understand ourselves only when we introspect, when we look inside ourselves. But human beings in nowadays, in the modern era, in this contemporary society, they do not have time enough from the repetitive, mechanical, monotonous activities of day to day life to look inside themselves, to peep inside themselves, so as to judge themselves. That is what the poet demands. The poet here says that perhaps citing the example of earth will be good. He says that earth can teach us, nature can teach us, because many a times we find that earth is dead, but later on it proves to be alive. Cite the example, just look the example of trees. Take the example of trees. Many a times during winter you see that trees, they are perhaps no more than dead. They shed their leaves and they seem to be equal to dead. But later on comes the spring season, and then they once again start producing their leaves. The sproutings, they take place, and then once again they turn out to be alive. Right? That is the point. Now you have to note. The point says that you can understand my perception by understanding the nature of earth, by understanding the nature itself. Right? See what the poet has proposed you. The poet asks you, the poet proposes you to sit quiet. The poet says that you should not be doing anything, you should be quiet. And during that exotic moment, he says, you will be able to generate a power, you will be able to prepare yourself for a better active life which will come ahead. No, see, strength actually for activity comes from inactivity, the energy saved during inactivity, right? If you can link it with the cell division, in cell division, I'm just referring to your cell division, that what you call meiosis and mitosis, right? I'm referring to that. You can link it to your biology as well here. See, during two cell divisions, you will find that there comes one phase that you call it interface. And during this interface, you know what happens? There is supposed to be no activity, or at least very less activity. But this inactivity actually is not a complete inactivity. In actual term, the cell is actually preparing for the next cell division, for the next phase of mitosis, the cell, or meiosis, the cell prepares itself, right? That is called the interface. So the silence that you will observe will provide you energy for more intense active life that will come later on, right? So just try to observe silence, try to be quiet, because it will later on provide you energy for your more intensive activities. So more intense activities, you will seek strength for them just from your silence. Exercise silence, just try to be quiet. Then again the poet says that I must count up to 12 now, and then he says that you keep quiet, I will go, and so must I feel, because the poem has ended, right? Now you just take good care of yourselves. We must be meeting some other time, some other day. Thank you for watching, people.